Chapter 2, Shadows in the City. The group scattered after leaving the church, each riding into the night with the weight of Elijah's words pressing on their minds. Chicago's streets were restless, humming with sirens, trains, and voices that never seemed to sleep. And in the spaces between, shadows shifted. Marcus unlocked the front door of a small brick apartment, careful not to wake his mom. She worked nights at the hospital, and when she did sleep, it was deep and dreamless. The living room smelled of takeout and disinfectant. His little sister, Kiara, slept on the couch, cartoons still flickering from the TV. Marcus looked at her and sighed. His dad had left years ago, so being the man of the house wasn't a choice. He wanted to believe what the pastor said at the church, but how was he supposed to fight spirits when he could barely keep things together here? He closed Kiara's blanket tighter around her and muttered, "Ain't no book gonna fix this." Yet even as he said it, a line from the journal echoed, "Not by birth or power, but by faith." Jasmine and David. At their apartment, Jasmine flipped open her worn Bible by lamplight. She read Psalm chapter 91 in whispers while David leaned against her shoulder. Their grandma, who had raised them since their parents split, was in her bedroom praying softly, as she always did before bed. David tugged her sleeve. "Do you think it's real? The demons and all?" Jasmine hesitated, then nodded. "I think it's always been real. We just didn't see it before." She pulled him closer. "But don't be afraid. God's bigger than anything in the dark." Still, when she blew out the lamp, she couldn't shake the feeling that something was watching from the hallway. Deshaun sat on the back porch of his grandmother's house, sneakers tapping against the wooden steps. His grandma was inside, scolding him for sneaking out earlier, but he tuned her out. His older brother was locked up again, and every time he walked down the block, someone tried to pull him into something he didn't want. He pulled out his phone, scrolling through videos, but stopped when the screen glitched. The reflection in the glass wasn't his face, it was something darker, grinning, with eyes that seemed to burn red. He dropped the phone, heart pounding. When he picked it back up, the reflection was gone. "Man. Nah," he whispered. But deep down, he knew it wasn't just his imagination. Luis lingered in the alley behind a corner store, hoodie pulled tight. He didn't have a steady home, sometimes with cousins, sometimes couch surfing with friends. Tonight, he was alone. He lit a cigarette he couldn't afford and stared at the graffiti-covered walls. The air grew cold, and his breath fogged. He heard footsteps, though no one was there. From the shadows, a shape peeled itself free, a figure tall and thin, with no face, only hollow eyes. It whispered his name, dragging the syllables like chains. Luis froze. The journal's words came back to him, spirits of fear, violence, and despair. His legs wanted to run, but he forced himself to whisper the only prayer he remembered, "The Lord is my shepherd." The figure hissed, recoiling as though burned, before fading back into the wall. Luis fell to his knees, shaking. He knew one thing now for certain, the war had already found them. The awakening. That night, each of them dreamed the same dream. A city drowned in shadow, skyscrapers bending like blackened bones, Lake Michigan boiling like fire. Over the city loomed a voice, not one, but many, layered in hatred. "They are mine. Fear is mine. Violence is mine. Chicago is mine." But through the darkness, another voice rang like a trumpet, familiar, steady. Pastor Elijah's voice, though stronger, carried the word, "The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it." The kids woke, breathless, each one knowing the same truth: the journal was no old story. It was happening, now.